Isaac Newton, who he was, what he did, and how he changed the world. Newton was born on Christmas of 1642 in Woolsthorpe, England. Unfortunately for him, his father died before he was born. His mother left him with her grandmother so that she could marry another guy. However, when her second husband died, Newton's mother returned to her son. This was in 1653. Although he was at one point removed from school to be a farmer, Newton later returned to school and went to Trinity College in Cambridge. He graduated Cambridge without distinction in 1655. He was later elected a minor fellow of Cambridge in 1667. In 1669, Newton was the professor of Lucasian mathematics. Unfortunately, he suffered several emotional breakdowns over the course of his life. It is possible that this is because of his troubled childhood. Nevertheless, he published several important works, the most important of which was the Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica. Robert Hooke, Newton's rival, claimed partial responsibility for Newton's work on the Principia. This angered Newton greatly. Newton was chosen to represent Cambridge in Parliament in 1689. Later, in 1696, he became the Master of the Mint. In London, Newton enjoyed enormous power and prestige. He became the president of the Royal Society in 1703. He died in 1727, unmarried. Newton's Principia was his most famous work. It contains his three laws of motion as well as his theories of gravity and planetary motion. Newton's law of universal gravitation was in the Principia. This law states that the gravitational force between two objects is proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the distance between them squared. What this means is that the heavier two objects are, the more powerful the force of gravity is between them. However, the farther apart they are, the weaker the force of gravity is. Newton came up with three main laws of motion. These are sometimes regarded as his most important contribution to science. His first law of motion is that an object at rest tends to stay at rest, unless acted on by an external force. An object in motion tends to stay in motion, unless acted on by an external force. This basically means that as long as an object is in motion, it will continue to move until something stops it. The same is true for an object at rest. Newton's second law of motion is that force equals mass times acceleration. The force an object has is affected both by how much mass it has and how quickly it's accelerating. Newton's third law of motion is that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Newton's other scientific achievements include inventing calculus, proving that white light is a mixture of each color of light, and proving that colored light is homogeneous, while white light is heterogeneous.